Well, it's finally arrived. Of course, you know what I'm talking about, right? Well, Windows 7, of course. You know, back on October 22nd, weren't you standing in line outside of Best Buy waiting to get that copy of Windows 7 that you just have to purchase? Well, I wasn't, but I'll have to be honest with you. As a Windows skeptic, as somebody who, you know, will only believe it when he sees it about Windows, I was kind of excited. You know, all of this hoopla, everything we've kind of heard about Windows 7 being, you know, one of the best version of Windows ever to come out really did sort of pique my interest. And of course, I've had lots of different computer students coming up to me also and asking about it. So I will be the first one to admit that I was sort of anxious to get a copy. Well, I did end up getting a copy right away, downloaded it from the internet, got a pretty good deal on it, and installed it on a couple machines I have at home. And I'd like to today just take a couple minutes and take a real quick first look, show you some of the things about Windows 7 that maybe you'd be interested in. Now, the first thing you're going to notice if you look at the screen here is that it looks a lot like Vista. And yeah, it is a lot like Vista in many ways. We still got our taskbar down at the bottom. We've got our desktop. We've got our shortcut icons. We still have a start button that pulls up a start menu. I mean, there's a lot of things that are very similar about Vista. But behind the scenes, Windows 7 seems to be running a lot better, a lot more efficiently, and a lot more effectively than Vista ever did. In addition, there are some new features that make it really a little bit easier, a little bit less cumbersome, and a lot more fun to use in some respects. So let's just take a look at a few of those. The first thing I want to start with, of course, is the taskbar at the bottom. Now, it pretty much looks the same, but it is different. One thing that makes it different is that whenever you have a program open, you know, it does still show you a large button at the bottom. But when you mouse over that button, it shows you every document you have open in that particular program. If this were Internet Explorer, for example, you would see all the different web pages you have open. In this case, I've got Word open, and you can see that I have 3 panels that have come up. I have 3 different documents open. In fact, did you see here as I mouse over each one of these panels, it literally pulls up and shows me that particular document. If I'm interested in it, I go click, and there it is up on my screen. So that's kind of a cool thing. Not only that, but if you put your mouse down on an open program and you right-click, it will show you the most recently open documents for that program. So if you wanted to quickly come down here and open up another document that you just had open, you could do it just by right-clicking on that icon down there. Now, another thing that's kind of cool, and this is really something that they stole from the Macintosh side of things, although I think it works a lot better than the ribbon on the Mac, is that you can now pin your most commonly used programs onto the taskbar and make them one-click shortcuts. For example, let's say that I want to take Google Chrome here, and I use it so much that I want to just put it down on the taskbar. I just point at the shortcut for it, right-click, and then slide down to say Pin to Taskbar, and there we go. Now I have an icon for it on the taskbar. All I have to do to start it up is come down, do one click, and the program starts up. So that's really kind of cool. The other thing that's really kind of neat about the new taskbar is that over in the corner, the right-hand corner, and let me go ahead and open up a couple windows here. We'll open up these 3 windows. Okay, I've got a button in the far right-hand side that if I move my mouse down to it, will actually make all the windows invisible so I can see through them and I can see the desktop. This is called the Peek button, P-E-E-K. If I click the Peek button, it will minimize any window that's open. If I click it again, pulls them all back up. Now, speaking of open windows, I've got 3 of them open right now on the screen. Windows look pretty much like they always have. I have a title bar at the top. I've got my control buttons over on the side. I can move them around and so on and so forth. Do all the normal things. I can, you know, size them from the corner down here and all that. But there's a few new little added features that make it a little bit quicker, a little bit easier to use Windows. The first thing is that instead of going over here to my maximize and restore buttons, all I have to do to maximize a window is drag it to the top of the screen with the title bar and it instantly maximizes. Same thing is true if I do the other thing. If I come down, drag this down, it will restore it to its previous size. If I have multiple windows open and I shake the top window, all the rest of them are minimized. If I shake the window again, they all come back up again, which is kind of a cool, a little bit esoteric, but kind of a cool little feature. Another thing that's kind of neat is if I have a couple windows open and I want to size them so they both fit on the screen next to each other, rather than doing all that myself manually, I can simply drag one window to the left side, and I can drag the other window to the right side, and they're automatically sized and put next to each other, so I can kind of compare them or do whatever I want to do. Let's drag these back down here again. Now, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you go down to the Start button and click, you'll notice that the Start button is very similar to the way it was before with Windows Vista. If we want to get to a program, we come up to All Programs, we click, and it turns into a scrolling menu system. Of course, in XP, it's a cascading menu. So, the scrolling system is a little bit easier to use, but, it really is still a little bit cumbersome. You have to do a lot of searching in here to find things you're looking for. Well, what's kind of cool now is that the search box at the bottom is a lot more effective than it used to be. And what we can use it for is actually to quickly pull up the shortcuts for icons we're interested in. For example, let's say that I'm looking for Photoshop. All I have to do is start typing in the word photo. It does a text-sensitive search, and automatically pulls up anything that has the word photo in it. Now, it organizes them so that programs are at the top, anything from the control panel is second, documents are third, and so on and so forth. So if I was quickly trying to open up Photoshop, you can see here that it displays it right at the top. I go click, and it's open. So again, look at how quickly I did that. Come down here. Instead of having to go up to All Programs, all I have to do is click in the box, type in photo. There it is, go click, and it's open. Saves me from doing a lot of searching, for sure. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close this window here, and I think I'll go ahead and minimize all of the other programs that are open there. And I want to go back over here to the Start button because I want to show you a couple programs that they've added that are really kind of cool. The first one is Sticky Notes. I think most of you know what Sticky Notes are. We commonly call them Post-it notes, but Sticky Notes have been around as a shareware add-on that you've been able to get for a long time. Well, now Windows includes it. If I come up and go click on Sticky Notes, it creates one on the screen. I can then type in a reminder to myself, pick up some milk, or whatever. Can move this around on the screen, do whatever I need to with it, just like a regular Post-it note. And that's kind of handy to have. I'm going to go ahead and X this closed, and we will not save it. The second little utility program is also really kind of cool. If I click down here and go up, it's called the Snipping Tool. The Snipping Tool replaces having to press the print screen button on your keyboard or key on your keyboard to do a print screen. If I click on it, it allows me to take and click and drag out anywhere on my screen, and when I do that, it will take a snapshot of whatever I drag around. Now, I certainly have lots of uses for that. We use lots of screenshots in our different handouts that we have. But, just about anybody can use this to show pieces of the screen to other people. You could use it to pick up an error message. You could use it to pick a picture off the screen that you're seeing or a picture off of a web page that you're seeing. I mean, there's all kinds of different things you can do. And once you've captured it inside of the Snipping Tool, you can then turn around and click and save it as one of many different picture types, PNG, GIF, JPEG. Or you can either just click and copy it to the clipboard and then paste it into a document or into an email message. So, that's really kind of a cool little tool. We'll go ahead and close that down. Now, last thing I wanted to mention about today, and we could spend lots more time looking at this, and we will in the future in other videos, but I wanted to take a look at the file structure just a little bit, the file folder thing. First of all, we still have our main user folder. My username is JLortz, and so there's my folder, and if I double click and open it up, I've got my window here. This window hasn't changed a whole lot from Vista, but there's this new little feature called libraries. What libraries are is a way for you to organize folders that are in multiple places together on the screen so that you can quickly get to things. For example, if I come over here and click on my picture library, what it does is it shows me all the different folders that I have designated to be included with the picture library. And I can pick any folder I want to on my computer and say, hey, show this as part of the picture library. Now, these folders are not really together in a library. They are simply being shown together on the screen to make it easier for me to find things. Windows 7 gives you pre-created folders for your documents, music, pictures, and videos, but you can add as many other folders to the library or many other libraries as you want to. So that's kind of a handy little feature there. Now, one final thing in this window is that up in the corner we of course have a little search box up there, but the search has really gotten a lot more efficient. In fact, if I go up here, the search box works a lot like the one down in the Start menu button. Let's go ahead and just type in the word Jack. As soon as I do, it goes out, finds any file in my library that has the word Jack in it. And of course, just like before with Vista, I can go over to a picture, I can click on it, and then I can see a preview if I come up and just turn on the preview pane. And there's the preview pane. I can make this a little bigger, and I can see a preview of it there. So those are just a few of the things that that Windows 7 brings to the table. You know, my first impression is a very positive one, and over the months coming, I'm sure that we'll find bugs and different things with Windows 7, but I think it's going to really turn out to be probably one of the most stable, one of the best versions of Windows to date. Now, would I run out and upgrade all my computers to it? Well, you know, $119.95 or 99 cents for upgrading is kind of a steep price. I'm not sure that it has any earth-shattering features in it that would make me just have to do that. But on the other hand, it's a pretty cool program, and if you're the kind of person that likes to play around, kind of have the best of things, have a little bit more convenience, and you got an extra 120 bucks to drop, I'd say that you'd probably do well by upgrading to Windows 7. Anyway, we'll have some more videos on this later. Thanks for watching this one today. We'll see you. Bye-bye.